To convert or not to convert? That may be the question you're asking yourself. Hi, I'm Jared with Carlin Financial Group. For the best retirement information, make sure you subscribe to our channel and click that bell to be notified when we release new videos. A Roth conversion is a tax planning strategy used to recharacterize a retirement account. Typically, we're talking about a 401k or a traditional IRA and moving that money from that tax qualification into a Roth IRA. Well, what does that mean? In a traditional IRA or a 401k, you make contributions before you pay taxes. So as that money grows tax deferred, whenever you decide it's time to take the money out, when you reach retirement or you're over 59 and a half years old and qualify to take that money out penalty free, you have to pay taxes on all of it as income. Now the way that works, whatever income bracket you're in, the money you take out of your retirement plan is going to be taxed at the highest portion of that bracket. So let's say you're in the 22% tax bracket currently. What that means is all of the money that you take out of your traditional IRA or 401k would be taxed at that 22% level. Now you may ask yourself, why would I want to pay taxes on it when I don't have to right now? Well, there's a really good reason that you might want to do that. For starters, the way that tax-deferred accounts work is you put in a little, and then it grows, and it grows, and it grows, and then when it comes time to take it out, you don't have to pay taxes on just the little amount you put in, but you've got to pay taxes on that, plus all of the growth over the years. So you make Uncle Sam really happy when he gets to collect a good chunk of what you think is your hard-earned money that you've saved all these years. So why might we want to do a Roth conversion now? Well, there's a simple reason for that, because the secret to taxes is you always want to pay taxes at the lowest possible rate. And what we know about taxes right now is that in this country, they are at historically low rates. For more about that and how taxes have changed over the years, you can check out our video on the history of taxes and get a better understanding of what exactly we're talking about. But to sum it up, basically, in the past, tax rates have been a lot higher than they are today. As a matter of fact, in our current situation, we are at historically low tax rates, unlike tax rates in the past that climbed into the 90th percentile. Today's tax rates don't even come close to that kind of a burden on high-income earners. But what we know is that today's individual tax rates are currently set by law to expire at the end of 2025. What that means is, at the very least, we should expect that tax rates will go back to what they were before the 2017 tax cuts. Not only that, but many professionals in the industry expect the taxes are going to increase in the future. Due to our national debt and our increased spending, especially recently to deal with the COVID pandemic, there's also talk of new infrastructure spending, trillions and trillions of dollars in debt that we've accumulated, and at some point the bill's going to come due and we're going to have to pay for it. So even though some people expect in retirement that they'll be paying lower taxes because they're not bringing in as much income and that sort of thing, they often forget about possible deductions that they're losing, as well as the fact, like we've just discussed, that tax rates could be well higher in retirement. Meaning, even though you may potentially be bringing in less income, the tax rate you're paying on the income you bring in could be substantially higher than it is today. So knowing that, do we want to pay taxes now? Well, it's going to be up to you and your individual situation, but there's a good chance that it could be a good idea to go ahead and pay those taxes now when we know that rates are at historic lows. Now, do we want to pay all of the taxes immediately, right now, and convert the whole amount? Probably not. This is when a Roth conversion strategy or tax planning strategy really comes into play, because you need to be cautious about how much money you convert and when, as it can affect you and your taxes, as well as if you're in retirement, your Social Security taxation could be affected, as well as the amounts that you pay for Medicare. So you really want to be careful when converting and make sure that you're paying attention to those other things that could affect you in the future. What might a Roth conversion strategy look like? Well, if you want to take as much money as you can every year and get it converted, because remember, we've only got until the end of 2025 before we know taxes are set to go back up. We still want to be cautious of those other elements and not bump ourselves into a higher tax bracket or a higher income bracket that could potentially cause issues with those other things we've mentioned, Social Security, Medicare, etc. For that reason, it's important to develop a strategy that takes all of those things into account and not convert too much at any one given time if you're looking to avoid those other complications. So what that might look like is if you're a married couple and currently you've got some more room in your tax bracket, that 22, let's say again, % bracket. So you have, let's say, $10,000 left in that bracket before you would move up to the 24% tax bracket. Well, what that means is maybe you elect to start converting $10,000 a year so that you're still just paying 22% tax, but you do it over several years before we expect taxes to go up again, allowing you to still convert the money while taxes are low, but avoid some of those other complications that we want to be cautious of. If you have more questions about IRAs and their tax consequences, just drop us a line down below in the comments and we'll do our best to address them in a future video. So now we have some idea of how a Roth conversion works, but who does it work for? Well, there's a couple of ways that you would want to utilize a Roth conversion. Firstly, if you've already maxed out your contributions to your Roth IRA, but you've got money in a traditional IRA or a 401k at work or something of that nature, and you want more money to be able to be put into your Roth, you can convert money from your traditional IRA or your 401k at work into your Roth IRA and go ahead and pay the taxes now, even though you've already met the contribution limit for the year. The other type of people that this might work for, and it's probably more commonly used by, would be higher income earners. After a certain income limit, your Roth IRA contribution eligibility phases out and eventually goes away. We'll drop a link down below to the IRS website that lets you know those current limits for this year. What's important to note is that those limits do typically change from year to year, and in any given year, if you exceed that limit, again, you will not be allowed to contribute to a Roth IRA. However, you always have the option, regardless of how high your income is, to do a Roth conversion. For many higher income earners, this is thought of as a backdoor Roth conversion or a backdoor Roth. What that means is you initially contribute into your 401k at work, that sort of account, and that money is a pre-tax contribution. If you decided that paying those taxes now could be a good strategy for you since you want to avoid the potential of future higher taxes, then a backdoor Roth could be a great solution for you. It allows you to take money from your traditional retirement savings account, your 401k or an IRA, and convert it into a Roth IRA by paying the taxes on the conversion this year. Now, does that mean that you can immediately turn around and take that cash out tax-free? Absolutely not, unfortunately. There is a 5-year rule involved with Roth conversions, and you have to wait 5 years from the conversion in order to access those funds without taxes or penalties. So if you made a conversion this year, say you converted $10,000 from your traditional IRA into your Roth IRA, in order to access those funds without paying taxes, you need to wait at least 5 years from that conversion event. If you think this could be a great strategy for you, I would particularly, at this point in time, tend to agree. As I said, I do expect taxes to go higher, so if you are looking to develop a tax-free income stream for yourself in the future of your retirement, some tax planning strategies that you employ today, including Roth conversions or a backdoor Roth, could be a great way to set yourself up for future success. If you'd like some help determining if a Roth conversion might work for you, click on the link down below in the description to apply to become a client. Thanks for sharing a little time with me today, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you share it with a friend or family member and subscribe to our channel by clicking that bell to be notified of new videos. And remember, live today, plan for tomorrow.